Hey, David, are you there? Hey, David, are you there? I don't see you or hear you. You must be muted. Sorry. We are live on YouTube, just to let you know. Mute my, there we go, mute my simulcast. Alrighty.
Can you see me now?
I can. How's it going there, David?
Not too bad. How you doing, man?
Not bad. You look different outside of your work environment.
Yeah, without my mask on too. Huh?
Exactly. I can only, do like this and I'll recognize you. There it is. Now I recognize you. Oh, that's nice. That's nice, man. It's a nice yard.
I fix her up around the lake.
Yeah. It's fixing up and nice.
Yeah, it's getting there
Great.
slowly but surely.
Yeah, it's getting there, buddy. It's great. That's awesome. We hopefully we'll have quite a few folks on here. I know you've been here once before, and hopefully we'll have as many, if not more, folks. It's just, you never know. Sometimes you have 3, sometimes you have 30. It just depends. So there's my co-host Chris Monroe joining us now. So yeah. Chris Monroe. I see the fan. I know Chris is there. His fan's hanging out. I don't know if those are more fan blades or if that's you waving. Oh, man.
What's going on in Seattle today, or St. Louis?
In St. Louis today, it was actually like Seattle today. We had a lot of rain. We had a few storms roll through. So it was very similar to Seattle in that sense. I know they don't get a lot of storms, but they just have the rain. We had plenty of rain, but we needed it. I think. I don't know. Not a weatherman. I don't know, but it seemed like we needed it. But yeah. So how's the weather in Virginia today?
It's been sunny, but you're supposed to be getting rain every night for the next week or something. So
we're dishing everything off to you.
Yeah, it's kind of been hit and miss.
We're hot and humid now. It cooled down obviously when the rain came through, but hot and humid. Wouldn't you say, Chris? Yeah, it's been crazy. You cut the atmosphere with a knife. But
Chris in St. Louis as well.
Chris is, yeah, yep, sure is. Chris and I are both in St. Louis market. So Chris does a lot of things outside of just St. Louis. I haven't quite nailed that one yet. I haven't done the virtual thing. I've started marketing to a couple other markets virtually, but just haven't landed anything yet. Got to fine tune my target audience, if you will.
Yeah, there's a guy that has a wholesale meetup that I went to that I hadn't been to in quite a while, and he said literally ever since COVID, he hasn't been going looking at houses, and he started doing everything online and doing like Ohio and other states and all kinds of stuff. So
it's a good reason not to, right? It's good excuse if you're looking for an excuse to try virtual. That's a good COVID. Why'd you try COVID? Why'd you try virtual? COVID, right?
If it forced him into it, you know what I mean? So
exactly.
He just has some numbers that work in this area that he, puts on the house for things based off, whatever they tell him. And, if it's different, then, they renegotiate the number or do whatever. And
right.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But
does that sound familiar, Chris? That's what you're doing,
still a
right?
really hot market here right now. It's still pretty hot. It's slowing down a little bit, but it's pretty hot still.
Is it a hot market still? Maybe I'll start marketing to Virginia. Is that Virginia Beach? No,
I'm in Richmond, city of Richmond.
That's right. The Spiders, University of Richmond Spiders, right? Isn't that their mascot? But wow, yeah, maybe I'll start marketing to Richmond because is Fort Lee still there?
Who?
Fort Lee.
Yes,
right outside of Richmond.
Yep.
What you know about Fort Lee?
Oh, a couple things. No, I contracted with DECA, the Defense Department, for back in 2007, 2008. I was a trainer for they went into all the commissaries and got rid of all the cash registers, and they redesigned the floors. They put in the self checkout lanes, and they put in a new system for the money office, and we had to go in and train them all how to use it. We went and Fort Lee was the headquarters. So
Fort Lee, Virginia. Would
Yep.
you know I did my AIT at Fort Lee, Virginia?
Is that right?
That's right.
No kidding.
Yeah, I did my basic training in the Army at Relaxing Jackson, even though we wasn't relaxing, Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Oh yeah,
To Fort Lee, Virginia for my AIT to be a unit supply specialist, quickly turned into a unit supply sergeant. How about that?
Nice, man.
I did basic training at Tank Hill at Fort Jackson, and then I went to over to Hollywood and did my AIT and stayed there at Fort Jackson. So,
Man. Well, I seriously, I appreciate both your service. Thank you so much.
Go Army. Whoop,
There you go. Is that what they say? What?
whoop.
What?
Like,
You know what? I forget what the Marines say. Hoo-yah or something like that. Hoorah.
Something like that. Some kind of
Yeah.
cheer.
Huzzah. No, that's something else, isn't it?
Wah-wah.
Right. That's the Budweiser Brigade. Oh my. Nick is online. Nick J in that fancy arch. That is not a real-time photo, is it, Nick?
He's downtown.
He is. Nick is David is actually a part of my Real Flow mentoring class group that we go through. We have a weekly mentoring session, and he never misses one either. We're kind of like we're neck and neck on who's missed any. No, I think I've missed 1.5 in the last.
I'm getting ready probably to miss 2 because I'm going archery deer hunting out in Utah for a week, and then I'm going archery deer hunting the next week in Arizona. So,
Oh, nice. Oh, fantastic.
so
That's, I mean, if there's a reason to miss, that'd be a reason.
luckily
I,
they're recorded.
Yeah, they are. And then Chris and Nick are in St. Louis. Chris has got a super awesome practice, real estate practice. I'm not going to steal your thunder, Chris. I'll let you tell everybody what you do when more people get on. And then Nick is an aspiring real estate investor as well. He comes to all of our in-person meetups.
Yes, I do.
Yep.
Most
I remember
definitely.
What's
Yep. So for those who don't know, my name is Chris Monroe, the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke.
I
And
love
I'm up
his flow.
in St. Louis for sure. So you say, David, you say you're up in Virginia.
Yeah.
What part again?
Right now I'm just right outside of Richmond, Virginia, Chesterfield County.
Oh, all right. You're up there by my guy Chris Jefferson and Chris Haskins. You buy all the Chris's up there
Oh,
to do
yeah.
real estate in that area.
Yeah, Chris Haskin, he's down there in Virginia Beach.
Yeah,
Yeah, I seen a bunch of
that's
his
my guy
videos.
there.
a bunch of his
I went and
stuff.
met him up in Chicago when he came close one time.
All right.
Yeah.
Does he do stuff like you, Chris? Does he do a lot of the like subject to and stuff like that? Or
Yep, 100% specializing in creative finance, buying
Yeah,
real
he-
estate regardless of your credit score.
He does a lot of stuff, man. He got a pretty good deal going on down there. So
nice. Oh, hey, I wanted
So
to.
we are streaming live. I see you got us live somewhere too. Rich,
Yeah,
where we
sorry.
streaming at?
Yeah, I got us live on our YouTube channel, on the Rich Groves Metro STL Homes YouTube channel.
Okay.
So yeah, I got us out there. And where are we at with you?
All right. So we're streaming live right now on Facebook. Moses Dunn says, hello, everyone. We're streaming live on YouTube. We're also streaming live on the Facebook group, the Woke Real Estate Investing Group. Plus, I think we're on Clubhouse, but I can't tell if it's working right. I got some. It looked like it's about 20 people or something in here. How many people in here? 17,
Nice.
18 people in here.
Nice. If they want to join the Zoom, let them know. I think you got the link, but I can always send you the link to send to them or whatever.
Yep. If you all are listening here on Clubhouse, the link's right there in the description. Just go to there and you can click right in and join the Zoom call so you can see some of these beautiful faces live and in action instead of just hearing us talking about real estate. So,
Right.
Rich Groves, somebody
Yes, sir.
brand new, they kind of heard about this real estate investing stuff. Where should one start?
Oh man, I tell you what, starting real estate investing, really, I mean, it depends, how well, okay, I'm gonna shut the heck up. I would join groups, join groups and network, grow your circle. That's one of the things I would do, show up. You could also, there's a guy I know, Chris Monroe, has a lot of content out on his YouTube channel to listen to a lot of stuff. But I mean, I think the main thing I'm talking about here is find somebody you can relate to. I'm not saying go out and buy a mentorship or any of that kind of stuff, but find somebody that you can attach to. Find somebody that you can provide value to them, but also learn. And you can find those people at real estate investment clubs. You can find them in any kind of networking group. Even if you search out and just watch free videos and things, but don't get stuck in any over-analysis paralysis. But yeah, find somebody. They say no matter what you want to do, find somebody who does it well and do what they do, right? So
are you basically saying it's okay to be a copycat as long as you copy the right cat?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You don't want to copy a failed person to giving you advice, right? You want somebody who's doing it right and doing it successful. Back when I first became a trainer, I was a trainer in telecom, and the telecom company I worked for always had like a quarterly newsletter of the top performers, the salespeople that were doing great. And they would always have like their tips. What were they doing that made them so successful? And they put them out there in the newsletter to try to get people to emulate that. It's like, well, if the top people are doing ABC, you should probably go out there and at least try ABC. And it's the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing with real estate. Whoever's doing it right and successful, do it. And you also have to scale, right? I mean, there may be people that are doing real estate investing full time, and you don't have that time. You have a job or you've got other responsibilities. You can't afford to do it full time. So you may have to scale it back. Somebody's like, oh, you need to make 500 calls a day or whatever. Well, they're maybe spending 8 hours a day, but if you can only spend 2 hours a day, then scale that down to what you can do. But the important thing is take action.
Because that's the thing I've been hearing a lot lately too. People say they don't have time. They're working their regular job. How do they do all of that calling and stuff with their regular job? How do they make that all come together?
I broke this down one time. I saw a graphic and I ran with it. Matter of fact, I think David was on a call that we did with our mentorship call that I actually got the floor and was able to present. If you break down the number of hours in a day, and I'm not kidding you, this is dead straight. You can check my math, but if you break down the hours in a day, every day, 7 days a week, hours in a day, and you subtract, let's say you had a full-time job working 8 hours a day. I know some people work 10, 12, whatever, but let's just call it 8 hours. Maybe you have a part-time job, you're only working 4 hours. But anyway, 8 hours a day times 7 days, 40 hours a week, right? So you subtract that. And then let's say, I know this doesn't happen. If you're a person that gets 8 hours of sleep a night, bless you. But, let's say you do get 8 hours of sleep a night. That's 56 hours in a week.
That's a lot of sleep.
It is, man. I'm telling you.
How much sleep you really need?
I know. And then basically, long story short is the number of hours in a week minus a full-time job and minus 8 hours of sleep a night still gives you 72 hours in a week.
What?
Yeah. You don't do it. You don't think about it. And that's taking out sleep time. That's taking out work time. So my question to everybody else, and this is my go-to from now on, is what will you do with your 72?
Woo, look at Rich Bros with them rhymes. Somebody said, what you gonna do? What you say?
Hey, I've been learning from you, Chris.
All right, David, I know you said you're up in Virginia. What is your specialty in this thing, on this realm of real estate investing? What is your specialty? Uh-oh, your thing is muted. There you go.
I'm there. I'm just learning and trying. I've been kind of stuck in analysis paralysis and keep talking myself out of everything. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, at what
I've done a couple of courses and some mentorships and everything, but I'm still just seem to keep talking myself out of doing stuff,
So at what part do you feel like you're getting stuck? Say you're talking to a homeowner, they say, yeah, I want to sell. Where do you go from there?
Well, I haven't, the only ones that I have one to sell, either just some kind of crazy stuff going on, or, you know what I mean? I need, like I said, from the last thing, I didn't follow up with you, but I wanted to follow up with you on the side to talk about some of these crazy kind of things that I get. And so like last week, there was one that was perfect for me. I could have bought it off the MLS. I could have paid for all the rehabs and everything, but it literally had like 2 gravestones in the backyard, like 100 foot in the backyard, right from the house. And so I called the county and the city and everything, literally found out they were buried on their property. I mean, it was recent, like 1996 and 2016. You know what I mean? And it was just right there. You know what I mean? So I had everything. I had the money. I could have done the whole thing by myself. I had no excuse other than I made the excuse of them gravestones and maybe not being able to.
So I'm trying to be clear here. And when you said crazy, I thought you were going to say something crazy. You came with crazy. So you got 2 people that have been buried on the property. They said this is their property for the rest of their lives, even after their lives, and they don't want to leave even if they go deceased. So now what are you going to do? How do you get around that?
Yep. So unfortunately in construction, we came across this thing before, and it's a lot of money, you know what I mean, to do it legally and right and all that kind of stuff. If you want to move,
what is it? I mean, what's a lot of money when it comes to that?
It could cost you $100,000
just to move 2 grave sites.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go through court stuff and get a hold of the family and find a place to put them and have special people come and do the work. I mean, it's nothing.
100,000. Does that sound right, Rich? 100,000.
It sounds high. I've never even looked into that. I'm gonna have to take David at his word on that.
I can't believe that costs 100,000.
It seems crazy.
There's got to be another way. Just like they say when you do your probates and stuff, they say, oh, it's going to cost all this money and take all this time. Yes, doing it that way, but there's got to be another way to do this, right?
Yeah. Can you, David, have you looked into, can you like just leave them in place? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you could just leave them there, but
who's going to want to buy a property with 2
who wants to buy a property when you look out the kitchen window and here's the big old huge gravestone with mom and pop buried there, you know what I mean?
I mean, but
how far away from the house were they?
Is it literally like 100 feet from the house?
Well, 100 feet.
But I'm trying to figure if it's a property we're going to eventually sell. Is that a reason that it didn't sell while it's on the MLS or what?
No, I mean, somebody's obviously made an offer on it since I waited too long, but it was 10 acres out in the country, you know what I mean? And there's a farm, area.
And what was the asking price?
42,000 for 10 acres. And I mean, that was the price of the land, basically. I mean, the land was worth 42,000. It had like a old motorhome on it and a truck and a beat up barn. And then it had a prefabbed house on it that needed a lot of work. They tried doing some stuff to it and everything. It needed to gut and redo the whole house, basically.
But I'm trying to figure out though, but if it costs 100,000 truly, that means they're not getting no 42.
Right.
Where'd they come up with the 42 number at?
Yeah, I mean, that was basically the going rate for the land. And they were trying, it was a foreclosure that was listed on the real estate. Nobody lived there.
Oh, it was bank owned.
Yep.
All from 10 grand.
Right. Yeah.
5 grand. I mean, just being realistic, if you really say it's worth, it takes 100,000 to do that. They're not getting that number because that's an expense somebody must incur.
Yeah.
And the other thing you could think of other creative things like, well, maybe we, if it's 100 grand to move those people, maybe it's cheaper to tear that house down and build a new house 5 acres away, or whatever. If it's 10 acres, I don't know. I haven't dealt in with anything like that.
Yeah, they got to make sure the sewer and electrical and all the other stuff. But that's an option. I mean, there's an expense to that. Whatever number somebody says for a price, I always keep in mind that it's made up anyway. Somebody made up a number. I don't care if it was 142. It's a made up number. So to me, when you tell me it cost me 100,000 to do that work, you already dropped my 42 down to 0 at that, really negative. Right. You should be paying me to take it unless we can come with creative. Exactly. So when you first said that, David, that I'm running into all this crazy stuff, crazy equals cash in this business. You should, don't run away from it just because it seems crazy, because if you can come up with a solution to solve that problem, guess who gets the big check?
Yeah, and they have a pending offer on it, so I don't know if somebody closed the deal or what the deal is, but I just
that just means they got an offer. They fall out of escrow all the time. What do you think about all this, Nick? What do you think about this? This sound like something interesting or what?
Well, it does. I was thinking that maybe you could just sort of separate out and make a little private cemetery, often,
Yeah, I thought about putting to like this little white picket fence around it to kind of hide the gravestone, you know what I mean? But
sometimes you got to get creative. You know what I mean? Don't just assume that, it was crazy and I'm going to run away from it. That's what everybody does. When you end up solving these problems, you get the check. You get the respect.
Yeah,
True.
the harder it is to solve, the better the end up is going to be. You're going to have a good return.
Yeah, that's true.
Said,
That's very true. The harder the problem to solve, the bigger the check could be if you did, if you did it right.
Just got another person jumped in too, Rich.
Did we?
Yeah, if you
Awesome.
are coming in, just turn your camera on. I think that's it. John. John's on the back screen there.
Yeah, John's back
Oh
there.
man, put that camera on, John. Let me see your face.
Which John is this?
Yeah, hey, Rich, hey,
Is it the good John or the bad John?
I think this is the good one.
hopefully it's a good one. Yeah, on this laptop that I'm using, it doesn't have, the camera's been disabled. It's my work laptop, so sorry about that.
Gotcha. No, what's going on, John? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
The other day, there was a Zoom call with Dana Jones Cox, and they were talking about the TCPA, which is about, making cold calls, stuff like that for people who are on the national do not. So anyway, so she was interviewing Damon from REI Black Book. And he was saying that you're not supposed to do that because there's hefty fines that come behind it, like $500 for each incident, up to $1,500. Okay. So how I do it, I always like when I drive around looking for homes that are distressed and stuff like that, I write down the address and then I skip trace it and then I start making calls. Well, based on this act, I'm not even supposed to be doing that either because I haven't set up any kind of, I haven't been given permission by the owner to actually call them up out of the blue. So the only way around it is either, you throw out bandit signs or like Damon said, send out mailers because then they contact you and then you are allowed to actually conduct business. So, but I'm on I have a very limited budget, so it's easier for me to just sit down and make calls because that's free. And if they tell me no, okay, fine, I move on to the next. But if they tell me maybe or yes, then we move forward. So, from your perspective, what do you think? Do you think I should still continue making cold calls, or because? Or move on to something, a different form of marketing to establish that.
Are you calling these from your regular cell phone that you're on right now?
No, Google Voice.
So is there any way that somebody's going to be able to come back and track you down to see who you are to send you the bill?
No, I don't think so.
Well, what do you think, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, I would, I always think of the people, and I don't know. I'm trying to phrase this correctly. If there are people who have a service to sell, or they have something to gain by that, I don't know. I kind of take it with a grain of salt. But I would recommend, because it's a real thing. It's a TCPA or something like that. It's a real thing. But I would check with an attorney, like talk to a real estate attorney or talk with somebody about that. I have one that I know that actually wrote articles. He's got a lot of good articles, but it's Jeff Watson. Watson Invested is his website, and he's got articles on like relational texting and stuff like that as a part of that legislation. But I think, and I'm not telling you to do anything specifically legal or illegal. I'm just saying, I think the big thing of that is make sure you've got a list that scrubs against the do not call registry, because that, and I think there's another factor. Folks can have it scrubbed, or there's certain services out there that will scrub against litigators as well. Yep. So I would recommend that specifically if you're going to keep doing it, which, it happens. I can't tell you how many calls and texts I get every single day. And my number is on the do not call list. And it has been since it came out, since they were allowing you to register your cell phones on the do not call list. And I get it. And they always ask for a different guy. That I say this probably all the time. I've owned my phone number since it was created. So I don't know how somebody else got, they, said that my number was their number, except maybe they were filling out a form and they filled in just some bogus number and they now got attached to them. But, hey, Van, do you want to sell your house at so-and-so? And I'm like, wrong guy, but sometimes I'll text them back and say, hey, this is a do not call list number. You can be fined $1,500 for this. And I can actually, there's a thing that may be another income stream you might even look at.
Right.
If you're getting them.
I never thought about doing that, but that's what I need to do. I mean, I have a house in Arizona, one of the hot zones, man, and I literally get 1 to 5 calls a day, and it really pisses you off sometimes, man, let me tell you.
Sure. I mean, it's out there, but I mean, yeah, I would definitely just talk to a real estate attorney, somebody who's knowledgeable, or like I said, if you look at that Watson Invested, he's got a lot of really good articles in there about that. And if you sign up for his newsletter, I know he emailed out an article explaining specifically what you have to do. I think part of that is you have to register your business with them or whatever. It's not hard to do. I haven't done it yet myself. It's one of those things where I'm going to do it. I just never, it's one of the things I haven't done with my 72. So I can't do with my 72. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out another way to get that. Chris, if you can figure out how I can put that, mesh those together.
There's always a way. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, there's steps, and he listed out, steps you have to take to be able to do it. But it's supposedly it's not that big of a deal once you've registered your business.
Yeah, I
Cool.
mean,
Thank you.
like when I asked originally, is there a way that somebody can come back? Like any of our numbers that use any type of cold calling, all that number is used for is cold calling. We don't broadcast, hey, yeah, this is the woke buying company or whatever number you want to be, ABC real estate company. Nope, it's just a person, and it's probably one of my virtual assistants or probably me or somebody using that number. We don't talk about company names or anything like that until we've actually got somebody that's serious about selling their house. So it's really, it's a thing you must, really learn to navigate. The right book answer is don't call them, but the real answer, I know people out here call all of them, and they disregard that thing completely. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just letting you know that there is a way to make it work one way or the other.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man.
So, what kind of list are you calling anyway, John?
Man, I don't buy a list. I just drive, like if I go driving for dollars, and then I look for homes that appear to be vacant. And I just write the address down, and then I go look them up. I go on public records to see who the owner's name is, and then I skip trace the name, and I get a bunch of phone numbers, and then I just start calling the numbers one by one.
So how long does that process take if you had, say, 20 houses?
I mean, I wouldn't be able to do all 20 at one time. I mean, I do like a little here and a little there, and I'll spend maybe an hour going through a few houses and stuff like that. Because sometimes I do actually have somebody who picks up, and then I spend some time talking with them, and then they'll tell me they're not interested in selling at this time. And
the reason I asked you that, John, because you can speed that process up about 20 times faster than what you're doing at wokemachine.com. That's what I would suggest. Get you a service, something like that. You can use that. That's a free trial to that. But at wokemachine.com, all of that stuff's right in your phone. You can get their phone number right there in your phone. Look up who owns it right there in your phone. Everything's right there. There's no going to the county websites and all of that. You can do that, but that's a lot of work you're doing. Just being honest with you.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I went down to Clayton to try to register those deeds that you proofread for me, and they threw me out, man, because they weren't on the right format. I printed them out on legal, and they're not supposed to be on legal. They're supposed to be on 8.5 by 11. So I got to redo them once my wife gets back from Mexico, to have her come with me in front of the notary and get them notarized again, and then take them down there in the correct format. So.
Oh, that's what they said. They only wanted in 8.5 by 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every jurisdiction is different, so you just got to make sure you give people exactly what they want, because everybody's picky, right, Christine?
Christine, you're muted. Oh no, you're muted. It's okay.
Welcome to the stage, everybody. We got
There you are.
Christine.
What's going on, Christine? What's up, Chris?
Busy, 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 busy. Foreclosures are opening up.
All right. I mean, it's good news for you, right?
Well, I like doing them a lot. So what I'm doing is spanning them throughout the state of Missouri and the 8 surrounding states now. So there's a ton of them.
Nice.
And what I'm trying to do is find those where the numbers are right, where you can pluck them out. You can either assume the loan, get them to drop, get the lender to drop what they're in the arrears on. I'm working on one right now, and then assuming that loan.
You gonna assume the loan, Christine?
Well, you can assume the loan, turn around and sell it if you don't have enough time. If I can get a listing agreement on it and get the lender to give me a little more time, which sometimes you can do that, and then go ahead and get that property sold. It all, a lot of it just depends upon what your numbers are and all the different things that you can do with it,
Oh, wow. Because
I've
I
been
heard you
really
say
busy.
assume the loan. I almost fell out of my seat. I said, oh, don't assume it. Take it over. I don't want to assume their loan. Keep that bad boy there.
It's the same thing.
No, when assuming,
What are you talking about?
when we say assume, that means I'm going to go and apply for a loan with the bank and they're going to
Oh, no. I'm just taking the loan over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Assume. That's why I want to make sure.
No, I'm not doing any of that. No.
And I know you didn't mean that. That's why I want to make sure it was clear.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take the loan over and then, I can do what I'm working on a beautiful one right now in Florissant. Beautiful home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with an in-ground pool and it's really, really nice. So, Rich, things are really opening up in Southern Illinois.
So you're going right to the homeowner and trying, as it comes up on,
I do.
trying to get it before it goes to foreclosure?
Well, no. So to understand the foreclosures scenario, Missouri is a non-judicial state when it comes to foreclosures. All right. So we don't get a notice of lis pendens. We get an assignment of successor trustee in Missouri. Illinois is different. It's a judicial state, and there we get a notice of lis pendens. So that's the bank saying it's in default. Once that happens, they're in pre-foreclosure. In the state of Missouri, the rules read that for 21 days, that notice of assignment of successor trustee has got to be posted in a legal paper for 21 days. It's got to be posted for 21 days. At that point, then a foreclosure date is set. Once the foreclosure date is set, you have about 3 weeks before the actual auction takes place. Once a foreclosure date is set, an auction date is set, the only way to stop the ball from rolling, you've got 2 ways to do it. One is pay it up. The other one is to file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. I like to get them when they're in pre-foreclosure because then I got time to work. Okay. If I have to file the Chapter 13, I can file the Chapter 13. But as long as my numbers are good, I can go in, like Chris and I were saying, take over the loan. Okay. So what I'm doing, I'm working on this one in Florissant. So they've missed 12 payments. They're in a forbearance. They've missed 12 payments at $1,800 a month, which is $21,600. That's just your payment. Now, once you're late on a mortgage payment, once 10 days after that first payment is missed, they start tacking on legal fees, interest, penalties, and all of a sudden the amount you owe starts to just balloon. Okay. This is a beautiful house. This house can get sold in a heartbeat. The lender doesn't want the house. So I got what is called a third-party authorization signed so I could speak to the lender. I called the lender. I said, listen, this is a very sellable house. The owner's already left the premises. They'll give me a listing agreement, drop the amount they're in the arrears and let me sell this thing because they're still getting money off of it. Okay. So they're like, well, hold on. And they went to the next apartment and and you do this when you're on the phone with these lenders. Well, they're going to move you to this guy, this guy, this guy. Finally, I get to the guy I need to talk to. And he's like, what is it you're wanting to do? I go, this is what I want to do. He's like, okay, fine. We'll do that. All right. Don't hold up the sale of the property for this amount of money. Okay. We're looking at a $300,000 home. All right. They don't have much equity in it. I think it's like 66,000 in equity in the property. But no matter what, if you let me do this within a week to 10 days, I'm going to have this thing sold and you're going to get your money back. So like, fine. I could have gone in and taken over that loan, but I chose not to simply because they owed too much on it. All right. They didn't have enough equity to make it worth my while to do that. All right. So I didn't do it. However, the market has slowed a bit, but it's still hot. You know, and properties are selling.
Wow. So that 21,000, is the bank willing to do anything as far as a loan modification to reduce that or put that on the back of the loan or anything like that? Or is it just they want that 21K?
No, they're dropping it.
So you don't have to bring that 21K.
I don't have to bring it.
Oh, wow.
If I could show them a listing agreement, they were willing to drop it.
And so they're just going to say, so is it still going to be a deal or what's going to happen with that?
No, it'll be a deal, but I will tell you this lender was willing to do it. And right now it's still a little bit of a battle, but once these foreclosures really start to pick up, the banks will be willing to do that. Now, the bank that you'll have the most trouble with, bar none, is US Bank. They're the worst to deal with, period.
Why is that?
I don't know what their mentality is, but let me give you an example. They have a property they hold, and it is between Eureka and like House Springs. So if you took 44 to 109,
You go south.
and you go south on 109 till it ends in W and you hang a left, there's a little country club down there. I can't think of the name of it, but just across the street from it is this house. And this is a ranch and it's a septic system and there's no water to it. But the guys still live in the house, been living in it 3 years. US Bank's holding out because they think they're going to get like 130,000 for this piece of property. All right. No, it has no sewage. It's got no water. It's disgusting. But they're going to hold on to that house. And that thing's been to auction 6 times and it's never sold. I know somebody who's crazy enough to want it and went in. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're thinking, but okay, whatever. Made an offer for 86,000 and they turned her down. So you dealing with US Bank is a nightmare, and they're a nightmare in every possible way. But other lenders aren't as bad. Okay.
Which bank was that was bad, you said?
US Bank.
Oh, I got 7 accounts with them. Oh no.
They're horrible. They are horrible. They're the worst to deal with.
Yeah.
But there's so much. So like with this, that market is really starting to open up. Okay. And so I've started a lead source. Now, you know, my leads are covering the state of Missouri and the 8 surrounding states in Georgia. And that's another deal because we have somebody in Georgia, but I'm going to kind of start doing this throughout the US and just offering up the leads on a monthly subscription. Nice. With that being said, you know, the market is still in St. Louis doing okay. I put one on the market in Hazelwood on Sunday that a student of mine bought about 4 weeks ago. He paid $120,000 for it. He put 14 in it, and it was his first house. He did a beautiful job. It's an 1,100 square foot brick, 3-bed, 1.5 bath ranch. Beautiful, beautiful job. I listed it on Sunday night for $189. And yesterday afternoon, I got an all cash, no contingency, no appraisal offer for $225, close immediately. I said, you got a deal. Okay. They're like, what else you got?
Food.
So, and it was a corporate buyer.
So do you prefer dealing with a cash buyer or dealing with somebody that got to go get a loan?
Well, I don't really. Okay, a lot of people don't like waiting for somebody to get a mortgage. All right. And the instant gratification in this world even parlays over to the real estate side. Like, okay, you want to buy it, we'll close tomorrow. All right. You know, I want to just slap some people. Okay. No, we won't. You know, if you got to wait, you got to wait a couple weeks. It isn't going to kill you. Don't turn down an offer. You know,
Yeah, but you know, I think, and no, to your point, I completely agree. I'm 100% on board with that, Chris. But I think for some people, it's the uncertainty, right? It's like so many
Right.
transactions break down at the financing level. Whereas
well,
if
they
I'd
do.
I'd take 120 cash rather than 150 in financing sometimes.
I understand that if they have a good solid pre-approval, I'm okay.
Yeah.
From a reputable lender, especially if it's a local lender. I'll tell you the crazy thing I had happen today. I have a student that I'm working with who's wanting to build a rental portfolio, and he calls and he goes, "Oh, I found this house. A wholesaler has it in Wentzville." I said, okay, so he's telling me about the house. He goes, he wants $10,000 non-refundable escrow. I'm like, tell him to jump in the Mississippi. No. And he's like, why? I go, don't you dare. I go, that deal can break down in a New York minute, and you have $10,000 in a non-refundable escrow. You're crazy. You know, but there's some crazy people out there.
Yeah. I mean, ask for whatever you want, I guess, and some people may pay it. There's somebody
I'm
might
like,
have given them
Gotten it, and I've gotten 10,000 non-refundable, never asked it from somebody before. I've gotten 5, 10. That's the most really for non-refundables. And
well,
you know,
I asked him who the wholesaler was, and he told me. I'm like, don't you even.
yeah, you do that. That ain't, it's something gonna go.
Okay. You know what they're going to do? They're going to make this thing go bye-bye, turn around and pull the same trick on somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't want to give it to them anyway. And also, could you go into that, Christine? If we were going to do a non-refundable, what would be the proper way to do it?
Well, I mean, first of all, I wouldn't do $10,000. There's no way in God's green earth I'm going to give him $10,000 in any way, shape, or form. Okay. But the proper way to do it, I would never do a non-refundable. If the deal breaks down, I want my money back, especially if it's on you.
Yeah. I mean, there'd be you'd have to definitely get it worded right.
Right.
If it's non-refundable only if you're the reason defaulted, or you're the
Not
reason.
back title work or none of that
Right.
other funky stuff, right?
Right. I mean, because otherwise, yeah, I mean, I know who the joker was that tried it. And I said, if you give this person the 10, I'm going to come kick you in the shits.
Right.
And that's the
Okay.
thing too. So if we were going to give them a non-refundable, how do we do that? Do we give it to the wholesaler? Do we give it to
No, to the title company.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, we got it. Woo-hoo.
No, I've
wanna
never
make
handed
sure
it
it's
to the
clear.
wholesaler.
Audience, because there's people scamming out here left and right. We want to make sure we're protecting the community of real estate investors, right, Rich?
Right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the last thing I would do.
Let's give them 20,000 non-refundable to some wholesaler we just met today on Craigslist.
Right.
That don't even have a contract. They scribbled a name on the bottom that ain't even the real seller.
Correct.
Scammers.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
it is.
you want to get that into the title company and make sure it's worded properly, that in the event there's bad title or some other issue that has nothing to do with your side. If it's something on the seller side, I want my money back immediately.
Right.
Correct.
If all of a sudden the seller can't find her long lost stepmother, who they can't prove is dead.
Now, also,
Yeah.
we want to have something in there to say this is not contingent on financing, or if we're dealing with a cash buyer. Remember, everybody's a cash
Right.
buyer, so
Right.
we want to have something in there that addresses that too, right?
Well, yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Sunshine over here says, "Say it again one more time. Who do we give it to? The
That's
title."
Title company. And the title company shouldn't just be John C. Wholesaler Title Company LLC either.
Right.
Not their
Oh,
own. Yeah, I got a title company, make it out to mine.
Rich Bros Title Company LLC Incorporated. What?
That's right.
The title
Absolutely.
company.
Oh my gosh. So what else everybody doing? Nick, tell us a little bit about you. Tell the people out there in YouTube land who you are, what you do, what you're trying to do, whatever. what you want to get done? You got any wants? You got any needs? How can we help you?
I am a novice and I'm trying to get into the wholesaling field and in St. Louis area. Because you got to know your area and you got to do well at it and be comfortable with it before you can move on to virtual markets, which I have a couple areas I'd be interested in, but got to get the rolling down and figure out all the little steps you got to go through and the right people to be dealing with. And that's what I'm up to.
Heck yeah.
I have one that I've been sort of interested in. It's a kind of was a reverse mortgage deal that the person died and now it's just sitting in limbo and nobody has any real control over it yet. And there's two papers on the window. I took a picture of them and I said, it's some company's taking care of the property is all it says. And so I tried to look it up and found out that the actual owner is still listed as the deceased person. So the family's not involved with it because it's reverse mortgage and it's bank or credit union has pretty much the most interest in it.
So it sounds like we're going down in your street now, Rich. Sounds like a potential probate. He found a house. He see that the owner's so-called owner is deceased. What does he do next, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, I've been lucky enough that none of my probate deals have had to deal with a reverse mortgage situation, but either way, there's got to be a way to, financially satisfy that, right? So you got to find out what the financial details of that. Is there part of the estate? If you were to come to an agreement with the family, whoever the executor of the estate is, to purchase the property, what portion of that is all the financial responsibility, has it been satisfied? And then that's where you would see what your meat on your bone is for whoever else wants to buy it or rehab it or whatever, rent it, whatever. But it's just another financial tool, right? Where you just have to find out what is the estate's responsibility.
So if you have a property that's with a reverse mortgage and it goes into foreclosure,
Yeah.
Why does it go into foreclosure? Because so many people ask me this question.
Yeah, that I have no idea because I haven't done one.
Real easy.
Because they haven't paid the taxes. On a reverse mortgage, the property owner is responsible for paying the taxes.
Okay.
So many of them don't know it.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And the next thing you know, the dumb thing's gone on taxes.
So
Okay.
about insurance too. Do they have to pay the insurance too on it?
Right. Yeah, they're responsible for all of that. None of that is escrowed. Okay. And they don't realize it. So I had an elderly woman in St. Louis Hills last year who came up on the foreclosure list, and I contacted her and she said, it's a reverse mortgage. And I said, okay, well, the reason you've gone into, she couldn't understand why she went into foreclosure. I said, it's because you have not paid your taxes or your insurance. Well, no, the mortgage company, no, on a reverse mortgage now, it just reversed itself. You're responsible for it. Well, she's like, I can't pay that. I can't pay that. She was panicking. She lived in this house forever. And this house was it was in St. Louis Hills, so it can sell for a fortune, but the thing was in bad shape. So I happen to know a guy that lives across the street from her who owns what used to be McMahon Ford, is now called the Schicker Auto Group, John Schicker, very wealthy. And and he helps a lot of elderly people out. And I knew that. And I called him. I knew him because I used to live across the street from her. And I told him what was going on. He goes, thank you. I'll take care of it. Okay. So what he did was he went and he paid off all of her taxes, brought all of that up to date. And then he paid off the reverse mortgage, but now the house is his and she gets to live in it until she's deceased or she moves to a nursing home or whatever. Okay.
How nice of him. So he took the place of the reverse mortgage.
He took the place. That's what he did.
Yeah. I mean, and he got a slam damn deal too, I bet.
He did get a slam damn deal because he knows he can turn around and sell that thing for a fortune because people will go into that 63109 zip code. I could kick myself right now for having sold our house there because I'm not joking.
It's a good area.
I could sell that sucker for 600 grand right now. Okay. And
he probably for 200.
Well, he probably did. And he may even got less than that, because when we bought that house, We bought it on April 24th of 2000 and we paid $171,000. We sold it 5 years to the day, which was 4 days before the St. Louis Police Department got residency, which means they could move out of the city. And we sold it 4 days prior to that, which was 5 years from the day we bought it for $389.
Wow. And that was at the height of the market.
It
Back
was at
then,
the height,
too.
and then
Yeah.
the market went.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Okay.
basically, the summary of what you just said is don't wait to buy real estate and wait.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's true. I mean, there are some indicators, that you can see, okay, this neighborhood's going down and it's not
Well,
bouncing back,
absolutely.
that kind of stuff. But that's not one of those markets. That's not one of those areas.
Well, that
That's for
area,
sure.
what people don't understand is even though the city police department and the city fire department no longer have to live within the city limits, they have to be within a certain distance of the city of St. Louis. The majority of them stay there and they want to live in that neighborhood. Okay. Because the property values just hold. I mean, they hold very well.
Is that Southampton
Well,
or was it Holly
no.
Hills?
Southampton is the slums of St. Louis Hills, okay?
You
You go to the other side of Hampton, all right? You go to the west side of Hampton. That's the east side, okay? Everybody on the east side wants to be on the west side, but you're talking property values jump like 150 to 200,000
Yeah.
in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
Easy.
Sure
Yeah, I
do.
didn't know that until I
This-
went up there driving for dollars one time. And I let you know, this house worth $420. It's just around the corner from the other houses. I looked
Right.
at. These houses cost that. I didn't know it. I didn't know
Oh,
part of St. Louis City that was
and
that.
if you are in, okay, so what splits St. Louis Hills is Francis Park. All right. Big, huge square park. So on one side of it is St. Raphael's Parish. On the other side of it is St. Gabriel's Parish. It might as well be the Mason-Dixon line. They hate one another. Okay. If you're on the south side of it, you are in St. Louis Hills Estates. Those are the big sprawling ranches. If you're on the north side of it, you're in all the gingerbread houses. Okay.
Yep.
Now those gingerbread houses are pretty, but they're minute on the inside.
Yeah.
They look gigantic from the outside. Get inside one of them.
Yeah, I've been in them. Yeah, I go to a lot of
Okay.
estate sales, so I see inside of all these houses, see how they're built. And
Right.
everything.
They're kitchens. You can't even move because the kitchen's so small.
That's true.
But if you go to the south side where the ranches are, there's a bathroom in every kitchen.
Damn.
They put a half bath in all the kitchens.
Jeez.
Yeah, I
Right
don't
there,
know.
right there in front of everybody, huh? I'm just kidding.
It's
I'm
right
just
there.
kidding.
It is
They put a
as
door, I'm
plain
sure
as day.
walls and a door.
You gotta
Yeah,
go. You
but-
gotta go.
Well,
Yeah, even
this
if
is
you-
the area where you'll see the seafoam green tile,
Oh, yeah.
the mustard yellow and black tile, the Elvis Presley pink tile. And
Right.
no joke, in the house that we lived in St. Louis Hills, we had 3 bathrooms. One was pink, one was gold, and one was green.
That was
We got it
status
all.
symbol.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful.
That was status symbol back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
If you had green or pink tile, you were in, man.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, they're just ugly as they can be, but
Yep.
what are you going to do?
Yep. So are there any areas like that out in Virginia near Richmond, Dave?
South of Richmond, south of Fort Lee, there's kind of a bad area, Petersburg area that's really kind of run down
Yeah.
and some other places on the east side in Rico County, but the rest of Richmond stuff, I mean, there's an older area that they're, trying to revitalize, a couple of spots like that. And a lot of the, everything that's close to downtown has been going really crazy. I mean, people have been paying a lot of money for junk, you know what I mean? That's,
Yeah.
it's crazy, and all the, millennials wanting to be within walking distance of everything. Of course, there's VCUs downtown as well, so.
Right. No, I get it, man. I just, so if anybody, has a deal they're virtually working on in the Richmond area, contact David. He'll tell you if it's in a good spot or not.
They're all good spots. If y'all want
That's true.
there ain't a
That's
such
true.
thing as a bad spot. Where we do deal let rich and the worst of the worst.
That's true. That is true. That is very true.
It's an upgrade to somebody, you know. So a lot of people
true.
feel like, oh, this is bad, this is good. My very first
Hang
deal
on.
made $1,800, but that just made it real to me. Real estate is
Yep.
real, no matter if
That's
it's in the hood, whether it's somewhere where you live real good. What up, my man Edward? Just
I
jumped in.
saw Edward. He just popped out on us. There he is.
Ed,
Hey, what's going on? Just decided to join y'all. I seen y'all on and I popped on. I
Okay,
actually
glad
wanted
you-
to complain about a deal I had ran across. I didn't know whether to go with it. I think it's more of a sub 2 deal.
where is it at? What area?
Yeah, see, I'm in Chicago.
Okay,
It's in, I think it's in the Gresham neighborhood.
that's
I mean,
fine.
it's a pretty nice neighborhood.
So what's the details on it? What's the numbers? What's the situation? What do they got to get?
Okay, well, actually, the RV on the ARV on the house is about maybe 260, about 260,000, and she owe 160 on it. She got about, I say about 60,000 worth of equity in it. But all she wants is 40,000. She gonna give it to me subject to.
So she wants 40K. How much repairs does this property need?
It needs update. You can move in it right now. She was living in it. She got remarried. She moved into Tennessee. Her husband dead. Her son got killed. So she wanted to give it to somebody. She had a couple of people that went to her, but I talked to her about a couple of months ago, and she said if she decided to sell it, so she's thinking about moving, she'll let me know. I called her, so I tried to convince her to list it or sell it. She didn't want to do it. She said, you know, the spirit that she got from me, I was gonna do her right. So she won't let nobody else buy it but me.
I know that's right. Well, you are the one then. Well, what's stopping you from moving forward?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know which route to go with. You know, I don't really have the money to pay her 40,000 right now.
Do she
You know.
need 40,000 right now, or she just want 40,000 in the end of all of it?
Well, she wants 40,000. When I told her, I said, well, I could probably get you 40,000, but you wouldn't get it after it closed or something like that.
Yeah,
So
well, it just depends on what the deal is. You know, it sounds good, but you know, 40K is still 40K. You know, is she gonna leave the loan in place? See, typically when we buy these creative deals, we're getting in for little to nothing down. I want to start right there. We're gonna start at zero. I'm not saying that we have to be at zero, but we start there, and then we might go up to say, you know, we can give them something. It may not be the full 40, it might be 20, it might be 30. We don't know. You know,
well, listen to you and I listened to Chris about the sub 2s. I was speaking to her. I told her, I said, well, I mean, I could do a sub 2 with her, but she ain't behind. She caught up on her mortgage. Her principal, interest, taxes, insurance is all paid up, and she's willing to keep it paid up until it closed. So she's still paying the note on it.
oh yeah, that's fine. Is it vacant or she living in it?
But you know, I can come right in. I didn't even got her to sign a purchase and sale agreement, and got her to sign a waiver so I can speak to a mortgage company.
Is it vacant or is she living in it?
She was living in it last week. She moved to Tennessee. It's vacant right now.
So
But
see
she-
deals like this are what we call a golden goose ready to drop a golden egg. See, when you got it under contract already, you know, and this is for the audience listening in too, that gives me permission to start marketing the deal just like a wholesale deal. I got it under contract, meaning I'm promising X. I will go find a buyer that's going to give me more than X. You make the difference on the down payment. You make the difference on the monthly payment, and you might get a cash out on the back end, depending on how you structure the deal. So, I mean, it's something possibly there, you know, which from what I've heard so far, there's some other variables, but from what you said so far, it is possibly a deal, especially if you already got what we call equitable interest by having that purchase and sales agreement already done. You can start marketing it yesterday or the day it got signed. Is that right, Rich?
That's right. Absolutely right. Yep. And, you know, I mean, it just comes out. I mean, yeah, where it comes down, you said you can move into it right now, but is it worth, like, what's it actually worth right now as it sits? If you didn't update anything, if you didn't do anything, I'm just trying to think ahead, thinking.
Well, I went on PropStream and looked it up. The value on it right now, they said it's 251 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And so that's the thing too, Aaron. I don't know.
You get a good deal because you can probably sell it for 300,000. It's a second floor and a first floor. She said her husband was living on the second floor. Her son was living on the first floor, him and his wife, but he got killed in the drive-by a couple of years ago, and she moved out. So what nobody said on the first floor.
Right.
But when I went there, I would think it would have to be updated because, you know, I mean, it's in the area, and then you got to worry about the work. We have a lot of older people on the block. I mean,
and so that's the thing too. When you say that, you know, PropStream said X number, that's just that number. I mean, did you actually find a comparable house that actually sold nearby that, you know, was similar to that property that sold for some number?
well, yeah, but it wasn't the same. And I seen a single family home that sold for 230,000 like that. But
So what's this one, a two family, or what's this supposed to be?
it's classified as what do I put it when I went to the government website? It's classified as apartment, but generic, something like that.
So it's 5 units or more, or is it 4 units or less?
No, it's just a single family home with the second floor and the first floor. Four rooms on the first floor and a bathroom, and 4 rooms in the bathroom on the second floor.
So it might be considered like a two family or a duplex.
Right.
They got separate meters and stuff on the utilities.
I didn't check into that.
Yeah, so since you
But
got
she called me yesterday and told me that her daughter, son-in-law, somebody gonna be coming to Tennessee, and they gonna get the rest of that stuff out that she wants. The rest of the stuff she gonna leave in there, a couple of appliances and some more stuff. And she said the guy gonna have the key for me next door.
Yeah. So what is stopping you from moving forward with the deal? It's just more about worrying about giving her 40 grand or what?
Well, I mean, like you said, I can market it now because I got the. But I thought I would have to have it switched over because I want to buy it in my trust. I don't want to buy it in my name.
You still can. It's nothing stopping you from doing that.
You haven't, just to be clear, you haven't done an assignment yet this year, right?
I haven't done anything this year.
Okay. Just being clear, because I remember you're in Illinois. So
Right, I don't know. You know what? Actually, I was thinking about taking the deal and running it with Chris, and we split it. Then at least I'll be.
I mean, if the seller's cooperative like you sound like she is, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that deal other than it need to be worked. I mean, you need to find somebody who wants to move in there, drop some money. You know, I don't know if I like that 40,000 down thing. I don't think that's going to work, to be honest with you.
That 40,000 is to close the deal. That's all she wants. So
But see, that's the thing, though. She might not get that right now. I'm not saying to go tell her anything, but I'm just saying that might need to be renegotiated. That's part of the negotiation. We can get her 40 grand. It just may not be right now. It might be.
maybe it's like 10 now and 30 at the close or something.
Yeah,
like
or
that.
whatever. Yeah, because you gotta, right now you have equitable interest. So what I would be doing is finding somebody who would like to move in that property, see what they got, and then I can go back and renegotiate with her once I figure out what they got. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Because I don't know what the marketplace is willing to pay for that. Somebody might want to come give you 50 grand. Somebody want to only give you 10. We don't know. We're making up stuff. The marketplace is the only one who knows what something's worth. Not the ARV, not some real estate agent. The marketplace always is correct.
Well, could I just sell the assignment that I got?
No, I'm not saying assign anything. No, and I'll help you out. You got my email address, right? Chris@wokerealestate.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wouldn't structure that as an assignment. I would find a way to stay in the deal. I don't look for a way to get out of deals. I look for a way to stay in the deal to get what we call passive cash flow. That's why they call me Cash Flow Monroe.
Yeah, man.
Right.
So I ain't assigning nothing. We trying to find a way to stay in it.
Yeah, I mean that's the end goal, right? The ultimate goal. I mean, unless but ultimate goal. Some people say I don't want to be a landlord. What Chris is talking about isn't you being a landlord. Right, you get somebody in there and they're maintaining the house. They're taking care of everything. And then some people don't. If you don't want to do that, have another exit strategy that you do want to assign to somebody else, but at least look at all of your exit strategies and evaluate them. Because like Chris said, if you could stay in the deal and just give somebody, somebody gives you a big down payment and they pay you a monthly and the mortgage is covered and all that stuff, why not, man? Stay in it.
So, and that's the thing that's kind of making this kind of hard to find somebody, because you got that elephant in the room called 40K up front. That could be a deal killer, just to be honest with you, Edward. That could possibly be a deal killer. I'm not going to say it is because I don't know the rest of the deal yet, but it could kill your deal by having that big chunk of money on the front end.
A money loan for like 40 or 60,000 and pay out, and then just like you said, rent it out.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of ways to do this. You got private money that you can put on it. I mean, there's a lot of variables, and this isn't really the setting to go and all that, but there are more than 2 or 3 options. There's about 9 options. It just depends on structuring the deal properly from the very beginning. And that's what a lot of people don't do when they set up these deals. They come in too high. I give you 100,000 down. Like, whoa. we start with nothing down and work up from there if we have to. If we don't have to, we're not forking out no big chunks of money on the front end. Does that make sense?
True.
Right.
Especially making some big bold claim and bold promises. Yeah, we're gonna drop you this big old check. Yeah, man, we got you covered. Whoa. Let's see what we can do realistically. Is that making sense, Christine? What do you think about this? What you're hearing so far?
Nope.
You're muted.
I agree wholeheartedly. I said, why give them something you don't have to give them?
Exactly.
Okay, so just like with, so not only do I buy and sell real estate, but I buy and sell businesses, and it's the same thing. I don't put anything out there that I don't have to. I try to work my deals on, and I'll be honest with you on the businesses. You know, I tell the people right up front when I'm brokering a business, you're not going to get all your money in a check. You're going to get it over time because that's how these deals are structured. Okay. And they get that, they understand that, but it's no different doing that than it is doing real estate. It's the same thing. It's a note.
And that's the thing too, you know, even her taking a $40,000 chunk of money like that, that's a tax consequence. You're gonna have to pay taxes on it. And she stretch it out over time, she can reduce or eliminate the tax liability. But I don't want to make that too deep, but that's just, you know, it's a lot of other moving parts. When you start getting into this creative real estate, you really got to get creative. You can't just assume that it's all one in and out and done. It don't work like that all the time. So that's why it's important to get a killer on your team and live that American dream.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, bud.
Somebody's asking a question over here. Majority mindset. Go ahead and put your question in, and we'll try to answer. I don't know what your question is. I don't see it. They got some questions now. You done woke them up, Edward. What you done did?
They wanted to hear a tough one. They were tired of all the softballs.
Say, give me something tough, and let them know what's up.
98-mile-an-hour high heat.
Also, I can get her overtime. I don't know if she really got to have 40,000 up front. Because when I explained to him, I didn't tell her I give her 40,000. I said, "What do you need to get out of the deal?" And she's saying, "Well, I owe 160. The house, I got like over 60,000 worth of equity, and I'm not asking for the equity I got in it. I'm only asking 40,000. So actually, she was only asking for 200,000 for it. The 40 that she wants and the 160 payoff. I told her, well, I could probably take over your existing mortgage and see if I can get you 40,000 that you want for it. That's the only thing I told her."
So see, this is another way you could structure that. We could structure it in a way they called having a wrap around mortgage. We would wrap around that existing loan, create a second note for her for that 40K, and either set that up with payments or set that up without payments, and make a balloon payment to get her paid off in 5 years or whatever. You know, you can structure this stuff really creatively, but I ain't trying to drop no 40 grand on the front end. I can tell you that right now. Just not trying to. Not saying I won't, but I'm not trying to.
Yeah. And just to put things in perspective, Edward, is that like you were saying, let's say it was worth 255. 70% of that is only 178.5. So even though she's only wanting 200,000, you know, that's more than what if you used your typical, like if you just went in typical ARV times 70%, you know, whatever, that's 178.5. So she's actually asking quite a bit more.
What was the ARV? 260?
Well, yeah, I guess I put in 255 because I thought he said like 251 and then 260. But yeah, it's a little more than that now. It's probably like 180, right? So
let's say it was 255 times. I put it on the screen so people can see. Times 0.7.
Because it's not listed.
Hold on, did I do that wrong? Messed that up.
His current value times 70% even.
255 times 0.7 equals 178, right? And how much you say it need in repairs approximately, if you were to guesstimate?
I would say about maybe 10 or 15 grand.
Minus 15 equals 163. And that's what a cash buyer will try to buy that for, is about 160. But that's what she owed. So really you need to be buying it for what she owe on it. So how can we give her 40K? And with the only way we can do this is over time. I mean, according to the calculator, not my opinion, the pure calculation, like Rich just said, if we were paying cash for this, we would be buying it for about 150, 160. But she owes 160. So what do we do now?
I think she owed one because she gave me a mortgage statement that she for this payment. I think she on it just says she owed 150, 156 or something like that.
So, but do you understand what we're saying there? So say this was just a regular wholesale deal, not a creative deal, wholesale. So we say it's worth 255 times 0.7 minus that 15K in repairs came up to 163. She owes 160. We're basically buying it for what she owes on it if we were paying straight cash. But if we're not paying straight cash and doing something creative, how are we gonna drop her 40 grand on top of that? And that's basically like giving her cash because we're buying it. We're overpaying for something at that point, basically. I mean, I don't know. Am I looking at this wrong, Rich?
Yeah. No, I think no, you're right. And that's where I think like some of your deals though, like you said, you could pay a little more if you do it creatively. If you do it with the subject to or whatever, you can pay a little more because you're getting equity at the end or whatever. But so that may be the case if you can structure it, Edward, somehow where you're not paying that 40 up front at all. And I do like that wrap, like you were talking about the wrap, Chris, with maybe even setting up a mortgage where either you make small monthly payments to her or none at all. And like you said, do a balloon at the end or whatever would satisfy her. You don't know until you talk to her. Right. But yeah, I mean, it depends. And it depends if you're going to keep it as if you're going to keep it as a rent to own or lease option or whatever, you can always calculate your percent, your net rate of return. And if your net rate of return in the rent as a rental, quote unquote rental is pretty darn good, then go ahead and do the deal, right? Some landlords can sometimes pay more than our 70% model because they're looking for a specific percentage of a net rate of return, right? So but sometimes you can't because the only way to get that percentage is to have a lower cost for the house.
And Edward, talk to me more about what possible exit strategies could be used on this property. What are the possible exit strategies?
Like he was just saying, I can probably, when you say exit strategy, about getting out of the deal.
Yes, like where you make money at.
Yeah, you got to wholesale it, or you're gonna lease option it. You're gonna rent it. What would those exit strategies?
Is it possible for an Airbnb? What options are even available as far as an exit strategy on this property?
I was looking at maybe a lease option or maybe a wrap like he was speaking on. Not an Airbnb. I don't want to be a renter, so I didn't want to get I wanted to get out of the deal.
So this is not located anywhere like near downtown or none of that stuff, Chicago, right?
Yeah, it's only like about 20 minutes from downtown.
Oh, okay. So it's possible. Okay. So yeah. Gonna have to dig a little deeper on that. But like I said, that 40K cash up front could be a deal killer, just being honest with you. Right. Could be.
Right.
But we don't say it like that to her, but there's a way to make this deal work. If she's cooperative as she sounds as she is, there's a way to make this deal work. Any other questions on it for now?
No. You just got my brain thinking now. Like I said, I was actually going to get the rest of the clean out for it and get it cleaned out and just mark it.
You can do that. I'm just saying that I would just be careful putting a bunch of money into a property you don't own. That's another thing. I don't put money in the properties I don't own. So, because you can lose that and it'll be gone. You go put 5,000 into it. I'm just gonna do this little thing here. You know what? I changed my mind. Uncle JoJo want to keep that house, and you just wasted your $5 grand.
Yep, true. Put as little into it as you can now, and if part of that is sometimes you can spit shine something and make it worth $20,000 more, right? So yeah, if it means just cleaning up stuff, maybe vacuuming the carpet or something like that, that's nothing, right?
Absolutely.
That's just some people just bought the house right next door to it. And they paid over $200,000 for it, and it's like a little ranch house.
Oh, wow!
So we got a question over here on YouTube. Let's see what they say here. They say, so how do you pay it off in 5 years? Don wants to know, how do you pay it off? So a couple of ways you can pay it off. One, you can refinance it. Two, you can renegotiate with her and extend it. We call that the deal after the deal. One of my favorite things to do. Or what else could you do? Is there another way to pay her off in 5 years? Just pay her off in 5 years.
Yeah,
off the money that you made.
I got no time frame to pay her off because she even explained to me, she's 78 years old now. And she said, I told her, well, as long as you give me your name, but the deed to be in my company. She said, well, I ain't worried about that. I'm not going to buy no more property. I'm not going to do anything. I just don't want to mess my credit up if I want to go buy something else. So I say, well, you're not even looking to get paid. She said, it could take you 20 years. I don't care.
Wow. She ain't got 20 years. She gonna live to 118, 100 and whatever.
That's why she wants to get that 40 grand up now. She knows in 20 years she's not getting that money.
She's gonna be 98 years old. I'm not playing. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Don Griffin Jr. on YouTube. Any more questions? Put them in here before we wrap this thing up. Because we usually go about an hour, right, Rich? We're about
we can wrap up whenever it's time. Yeah, whenever, if we don't have any more questions coming in, we can wrap it up. But if we got questions, let's talk.
Hey,
what do you think, David over there cooking some juice? I see him back there doing like this.
David Steam's coming on, David. Come on, Dave. What you got?
I got one that's the person died. I found the relatives to the house, but he didn't leave. It's in nobody's will or nobody's nothing. I mean, he didn't will the house to anybody.
So was it in probate? Did it go to probate?
It's not in probate. It's like in La La Land right now. The guy's been dead for a couple of years. I found a relative that's related to him, a cousin, but he didn't leave a will to nobody. Nobody has, nobody's legal rights to the house.
And does he have like sons, daughters, wife? I mean, anything like that?
The only person we found so far is like a cousin.
Wow.
And
so was it mortgage free?
I'm as far as I know that I mean, I can't. I mean, I did.
I would assume
driving for dollars, abandoned looking house, and then looked up the website. Started looking, and
Did you see how long they owned it? By any chance?
We ran somebody down, and and she said that, hey, it was. My uncle's house, whatever, and he died and he didn't leave it to nobody. And, I'm a relative, but I don't know how to go about getting to my name or what I need to do. You know what I mean? So,
I don't know Virginia law. I would definitely, if I was her, I would talk to an attorney right away. She, right? You did say she. I think hopefully I didn't misspeak, but just to see, because, I don't know if I'm sure there's a Virginia website for probates, right? The Missouri, the Missouri
Commonwealth of Virginia.
What's that?
The Commonwealth of Virginia. Is it a Commonwealth?
Yes. Sorry, not the state. You're right. It is the Commonwealth. You're right. That is correct. I forgot. Just like just like
I did my biggest deal in that
Louisiana
state.
Doesn't have counties. They've got parishes.
Parishes, yeah. I did my big deal in Virginia. That's the only reason I would know something silly like that.
That's true though. But yeah, so in the Missouri version, you can look up probates, right? You look up the person's name. There's a specific site called CaseNet that covers more than just probates, but you can look up specific probate, and you can look for names and whatever for a specific probate person. So Virginia, I'm sure, has something like that you can type in the last name of the deceased person and find out if somebody's even filed something in probate yet. You said it's not in probate yet, so I'm guessing you've probably already done something like that.
I mean, I've done some searching, but I need to do some more. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I'm just curious, because that's where I would start, just to see if anybody, because when I go across, because I work with the probates a lot in Missouri, and you can see the trail. Like I literally have one I'm working right now where the person filed, and I'm not a lawyer. I don't know all the legal reasons why people do this, but the person filed has absolutely no relation to the deceased. But they filed the petition, I guess, to get compensated. Maybe they owed the money, maybe, whatever. So they're trying to get it from the estate, which, okay, whatever. But that's how I found them in the probate system that way. Because I got a postcard, I'm trying to find it. It's here, I'm sure, somewhere. But I got a postcard back from one of my mailers, and they put that little sticker on there. And it says,
would it be that sticker?
Yep. On the yellow sticker, they would write DEC or right around there somewhere for deceased.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
Excuse me.
DEC means deceased. Yeah, I know you know that.
Hey, that's
UTF,
dead
unable
on one
to forward.
dead. Mine said dead one time. What that mean?
Did it really say dead? Oh, like, are you serious?
Dead. Nah.
That was the newbie at the post office. They didn't know what they were supposed to write.
Dead is a doorknob. That's messed up. Dirt nap. No, I'm just playing.
Dirt nap.
You wrong for even laughing at that. You wrong for that, David. I see you laughing, David.
Oh man. But that's where I would start. It's looking at that. But if you've obviously seen that and done that, then it might be worth your while to talk to a probate attorney, just to say, hey, you might be able to file something. I don't know. You might be able to file that you want to get the house. I don't know what the laws are in Virginia or what you can do. I honestly do not know.
Yeah,
I haven't got that deep into it yet. It's something I just found last week, and found the one relative and got her story on it. And so
is she want to work with you?
Well, yeah. I mean, she she's willing to, but like I said, it's not in her name and all that.
So did you look at the death certificate already?
No, I ain't got that far.
So you need to get the death certificate, see what the people are, or tell them what he got to do, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, I would right away. I mean, did you? Okay, I'm going to ask questions, right, David? I'm not going to assume you haven't or have. I'm going to ask questions, and it's just to clarify. Have you gone into any like local obituary site and typed his name in the obituary site to actually see the obituary?
No, like I said, I found the house. I
Mhm.
called several names. I finally got a hold of somebody, and she said, "Oh yeah, that's my cousin or my uncle, and he died. And as far as I know, I'm the only relatives, but he didn't leave a will to the property." And she said she'd be willing to work on it if she could get the house in her name or something. And just, it's just, I haven't worked since then. You know what I mean?
Is that the Richmond Times? Would that be the paper in the area? Anyway, all I would do is I Google Richmond area obits, and I would Google that, and it takes you to the legacy.com site specifically for like Virginia, usually like Richmond Times or whatever. I change the date to all time, and then I search the name. And if I can find the obituary, because you know what, every once in a while, and maybe the cousin doesn't know, because there's cousins I got out there that I don't know, I'm sure, but maybe the cousin doesn't know that they had a stepson or an ex-wife or something like that. So you can search that obituary, because sometimes the obituary says, John Doe survived by his son Jim from Richmond and his daughter Susie from Seattle, Washington, or whatever, something, right? So maybe you've already done that. I apologize.
It's early in the game. Something I just
that's the very first thing I do when I get
over the
those
weekend,
postcards back. That's the very first thing I do is see.
It's the first thing I do on foreclosures.
Yeah. Oh, is that right?
That's my first step in my vetting process. Are they dead?
Yep.
Okay. And I go look it up.
Because who do I need to, and once I do find they're dead, now I'll bring up like I said, we call it CaseNet around here. I'll pull up CaseNet, search for that probate case, see if it's even been filed probate yet. It may not be filed probate because whatever reason. And now maybe I can go back to the obit and go call Susie, skip trace Susie, call Susie directly. And Susie says, no, I'm sorry, I'm not the executor. John's the executor. Okay, you got John's number. She gives me John's number. I talk to John and we get that thing sold before anybody knows. I'm not before anybody knows.
Yeah, they won't know. To get it to skid marks to the closing table.
That's right. But that's what I would do, David, if it was me. I mean,
all right, well, thanks for the advice. I appreciate it. So like I said, something I just came across over the weekend and hadn't done a whole lot of diving into it yet. It just really kind of started. So,
and hey, give me a call. We can talk. We can walk through it, man. It's not a big deal.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
No problem.
So there you have it. Any other questions on the panel here? I don't see any more on the screen as far as these 14 people watching online there. And
woohoo!
We got about, 12 or something over here on Clubhouse.
Nice.
How's
the Clubhouse crew doing tonight?
Oh, they over here watching and listening and watching.
Nice.
So
awesome.
Any other questions on here from Nick or anybody that has any questions, comments, concerns? If not, Rich, we need a commercial from you. When is the next meetup?
We do. I tell you what, for all of you St. Louis area real estate investors, we are going to have our next real estate investing face-to-face meetup next Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Hooters in Fairview Heights, Illinois. And that's 6 o'clock. For those of you who aren't in the St. Louis area, as long as Chris would like to host with me, we'll do another one of these on the next Tuesday, the second Tuesday of next month. That's the 14th. September 14th would be the next virtual meetup like this. So put in your calendars.
So be there or be square. We got a baby involved. Look at the Edward got the little baby. Hold on. Where the little baby
Who's
is?
that, Edward? You're muted. I'm sorry, buddy.
Because I've been really wanting
Hi,
baby.
David.
Yeah, this is the grandbaby. The new edition.
My battery.
What's your grandbaby's name?
Dottie.
Dyson?
That baby cute.
Her name is Deanna. We call her Dottie.
Oh, Dot. Okay.
Deanna.
Dot. I can't hear. I'm breaking up. I apologize. I got to check my Wi-Fi signal.
He was looking at it online.
Oh, cute grandbaby.
Yeah. He over for the weekend.
I'm in the situation where I can't wait to have grandchildren, but I can wait to have grandchildren. You know what I mean?
They laughing at you over here, Rich. They said, LOL, you got a commercial voice too. Act now.
He does, doesn't he?
I did a year of radio in college, but I try.
Then I
That
got
was
a question.
perfect.
So the novice wanderer, I don't know if this is a real question or not, but they say I have 100K in the bank. How do I make that into $1 million?
Call me.
Call me.
Now 314. Blah, 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 blah.
No kid. I mean, 100,000 into $1 million. It depends. What do you want?
Do some
$1
hard
million
money
today?
lending.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you want $1 million, like $1 million in cash in your hands, or you want properties that are worth $1 million? Do you want, you want equitable interest of something that's $1 million? What, I mean, that if you want, like, hey, I just want, okay, my bank account right now says 100,000. I want that bank account very soon to say 1 million. Then yeah, I agree. Hard money.
He
lending.
said no. It's serious. Okay, so he's serious about that life.
Hard
And I
money
am too.
lending.
Hard money lending. That's right.
Yeah.
I got. Well,
The
if you got 100,
fastest way.
I got 4 properties. You can put that money in right now. Cash me out now. Cash out refinance.
I know, right?
So it's a lot of ways.
I am looking for. I'm always trying to build my private lender, crew too to pay. So I do pay
And
pretty
he
good.
said,
So
and he said 1 million in liquid. So yeah, you're gonna have to flip
Okay.
that money then. Yeah, you're gonna
Yep.
have to flip it a couple times.
flip it.
It could be done though. Not too difficult to be honest.
Yeah, reach out to me. I can talk. I can at least ask you questions. If you're interested.
Yep. There you
Well,
go.
Rich, you know who's interested in doing it? Very interested.
Yeah,
From your meetings, Alejandro.
Alejandro. Yeah,
You
Alejandro.
can add him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I talked to him. He and I are reaching out together and talking because, we're gonna get some stuff done. Definitely.
I mean,
There
it's a
it
good-
is.
What's
Good
that?
source. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a good source.
Yeah, and it's when you find good lenders, that's a big thing, right? I saw, can't remember if it was an Instagram story or a Facebook story. As I was trying to post stuff today, I saw somebody, had a ask me your questions kind of thing, and it was a real estate person, and they were like, the question was like, what should I be doing right now or whatever? What are you doing now to build your future, whatever? And one of the person's responses, I thought it was brilliant. One of the person's responses was talking to lenders, and that's it. I mean, you there are people out there, maybe they just have their one lender. They got that bank. Hey, I got a great relationship with that bank. And I go out and buy with private money. I fix it up, I flip it, I do a burr real quick with that bank. Well, eventually that bank's going to
Cut
run
you
out
off.
of space, right? So you can never have too many lenders.
No, you can't. You are 100% correct.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
deal I just wholesaled last week had under contract for 57,000, and the ARV was like 110, and it didn't need nothing. They even had a tenant in it. I would have kept that house. I wouldn't have wholesaled that. I would have kept that house. Nothing wrong with it. 2-story brick house, ready to go.
Yep.
But
And if
happy.
people are just evaluating the deal, especially, it makes it even easier, right? I mean, it makes it a lot easier. If your lenders are, hey, we're hard money lenders, we're just evaluating the deal, and all you need is somebody to fund your flip. That's sweet. It's easy.
Fund it and run it. All right. Any other questions before we wrap this thing up? Comments, concerns? Nick, you
I'm all
good?
I'm all good. I think I'm
Oh,
gonna try to get
Edward's
hold of you
vanishing.
tomorrow, Christine, to talk about that one property I was looking at.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
got?
man.
It's that one, it's a reverse mortgage. The person's been dead, still the owner, and go through all the numbers with it.
Do you have a pen and paper?
Yeah,
314-313-5015. Now that the whole of the United States
I was-
knows.
I was gonna say, keep the text appropriate, okay? Don't
No,
be sending Christine pictures.
if I
of
can
stuff
help
you
him, I'll
shouldn't be
help him. I want him to do a deal.
I need a deal.
Okay, and that's the
That's right.
problem, folks. You pay a fortune, you pay people like me to teach you, then you don't do it. That's why when somebody pays me to do it, I'll walk you through the deal. I'll hold your hand if it takes 10 deals. And I did say that to one of my students, and now be damned, he's taking it to heart. I feel like he's my kid now.
Yep.
I'm
cool
like,
thing
am I
is-
ever gonna shake you? So no,
Yeah.
I will be more than happy to work with you.
Yeah, Nick
All
has
right,
been,
thanks.
I mean, Nick has consistently been here. Nick is.
I
busting his butt
know.
trying to do it, right? Yeah,
You're just talking to some homeowners.
that's right.
I have been, it's been working pretty
We just gotta
nice.
get you a better list, Nick.
What?
They said no
It is
hotline
getting
bling,
better.
serious inquiries only. Talking about for you, Christine.
That's right. That's right. What do you charge per minute to talk, Christine? Not, to, not
I
I know that
don't
wasn't
charge
a 1-900
anything per minute
number.
to talk. If they want, what I charge them for is if they want to learn the foreclosure process and really how to do them and do them correctly, because it takes so much of my time. Not only that, I'm feeding them leads. Okay, and how to talk to people.
Well, that's one of the main things I'll be telling people. You gotta learn to talk to people.
You
If
do.
you don't understand the wrong mess, you won't
Right.
get your blessing.
That's right. And I mean, that was
You're
one of the
absolutely
prices.
right.
Our last Hootie's meeting, I know you weren't there, Christine, the last one we did, we had a newbie. I mean, he's kind of newbie, there, and Chris was coaching him like, hey, we did a cold call script right there, like a
Right.
real thing. And
you know what? You guys,
corrected him right
that's
there.
a great idea to start doing.
We didn't do a script. I'm sorry. We were doing a role play.
Role
Right,
play.
but no,
Ring,
either
ring.
way,
Ring,
give
ring.
them a
Go.
realistic idea of what it is like. So you got some people that go to the Hooties, and I met them there, and I work with them all the time. Okay.
Cool.
And so much of it is teaching people how to talk to people, what to say. So to give you an example, the other day I was helping somebody with making calls on foreclosures. He was getting hung up on left and right. And so anyway, he goes, that's it, I'm done, it won't work. I go, stop, dial that phone. And I needed to talk to Mary Jane, okay? So woman answers the phone. I said, is this Mary Jane? She goes, yes, it is. I go, Mary Jane, this is Chris. Don't hang up because I'm not trying to sell you anything.
There you go.
She
Boom.
goes, then what do you want? I go, give me 2 minutes and I'll tell you. Well, guess what? We have a meeting with Mary Jane tomorrow.
Good.
Okay? Because in the foreclosure process, what people don't understand is if you let that, they'll say, well, I'm just going to walk away from it. You walk away from that baby and it sells at the courthouse steps. 30 minutes later, there's a judgment filed against you for that amount of money. Okay? You're never going to rent anything or buy anything until you satisfy that judgment. Doesn't cost you a dime to go through me to remedy this process.
Yep.
Okay.
True. And that's what people need to realize. You got to, people want to hear the favorite radio station. I know we're in, Sirius XM and stuff like that, but the most favorite radio station in the world is WIIFM.
What is
you knew
it?
it, right, Chris?
WIIFM. You never tuned in,
What's
Christine?
in it for
I
me?
never listened to the radio.
WIIFM. What's in it for me?
That's right. The favorite radio station in the world, the number one radio station in the world, WIIFM. This is Rich Groves coming to you live from WIIFM.
That's right. What's in it for me?
Right. So once you can figure out, once you can talk to people about what's in it for them, what's the benefit of talking to you, what can you do for them? It's like what's the most pleasant word in, let's just say, the English language, but any language? It's your name, right? Your name to you.
Unless your parents are yelling it.
Right. True. Unless you get it's first name only, not first and middle name.
No,
Middle name.
it's your full name.
Yeah.
Christine.
Right.
Uh-oh.
You did some now.
What we got? We got any more questions on your end there, Chris?
We're done. We're ready.
Alrighty.
Good night,
Okay.
guys.
Well, I appreciate everybody getting
All
here.
in a
Thank you
couple
so
of
much.
weeks.
Everybody that had time to get on the call and get on the Zoom or even just watch and ask questions. It's because of you that we do this. So thanks so much.
Thank you.